You have been my student not so long time ago. So, and of course, it's interesting also for the listener today because Mahati is the first student that we have accepted to ISB. Okay? Because as you know, usually what we have Indian students, they want to study abroad. Okay, so they usually want to study in Europe or in the US. Okay, and we have very few who want to study in Europe, or very few will come to meet us. Okay, I find it's a bit stupid because ISB is a very good option. Okay, both financially, because of course it's much cheaper than European ones, and also in terms of network, because ISB has the greatest business network in India. Um, so when I see so many Indian students want to study, I don't know, at IE or HEC or I don't know, Oxford or Cambridge, I understand the reason, okay? But at the same time, ISB can be also a great option, okay? So, and that's why I'm very happy today to receive Mahati will be our first students being accepted to ISB. So, Mahati, can you tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, coming to my personal background, as Hubert and Jasti people know, I just want to resonate again. I come from an engineering background as a computer science engineer with 2 years experience, like about 30 months of experience as a product DevOps engineer. So that helped me a lot to interact with many people over the globe and discuss, improve my network and all. So apart from that, I got into ISB with my Gmat, good Gmat score, and I had spoke with Hubert multiple times, and he helped me a lot. That gave me a lot of confidence, and it helped me to prepare well for my applications and my interviews.
Oh, tell me, Mahati, so what is your background? So you're an engineer originally. What is your
Yeah,
background?
I'm a computer science engineer. Post to that, I worked for 2 years in NCR Corporation as a DevOps engineer. It's a product-based company.
Okay.
Post
And
to that,
tell
I
me,
just applied.
okay, and tell me about your family background. So basically, you come from a typical middle class family. Your parents are entrepreneurs. I understand well. So you had an issue
Yeah,
in your family. Maybe we don't have to mention, but tell me your
yeah,
background, the city where you come from, because of course you have Indians coming here, but you have to understand that MBA Center is a global company. So of course, Europeans or American students are happy to understand more about what is the middle class family in India. So tell us.
yes, yeah. So yeah, as Hubert told, yeah, that's true. I come from a very moderate middle class family, and apart from that, a typical South Indian family where all the society impacts so much on family and so much impact is there on a girl child. As you guys might be knowing, in India it's very difficult to go cross the hurdles and come up for higher studies because they always want to marry and want to make the girl child as a housewife and not so higher than the boy, the right person who you are getting married. So I had lot of hurdles in my beginning of my life. So when I chose ISB, then post to that, I just proved myself with my application. If I get admit, they'll only accept it. So I just worked hard to get an admit. I've just tried uh, hard to get an application shortlist and then uh, interview shortlist. So that helped me a lot. Later part, they automatically accept me to study because it's not easy to get into uh, such college where only 400 students approximately for but that particular campus being selected all over the globe. So
Okay,
with
very good.
this
So
experience,
basically, yeah,
yeah,
you have to explain to a wider audience. Basically, you went to a top engineering school, and then you have scored very high because your GMAT was what 760. What was it? 760, 770, 760. So you have
760, yeah,
so you could be a
yeah,
teacher for MBA Center. Hopefully, you'll be one day. Of course, it's a very good score. So with 760, you can get Harvard, Wharton, Stanford. I have students who have even less than that, and you got MIT, such school. So of course, you have a brand, and it would have been stupid that you done further study. Um, So tell me what it is. So you come from South India, okay? Are you close to Bangalore, or are you from exactly? Which city is it? Bangalore?
I come from Andhra Pradesh, Vishakhapatnam. So it's not it's
Right.
Bangalore is in other state. So I'm from Andhra Pradesh,
Okay, you're from
and my
Andhra
college,
Pradesh,
yeah, Andhra Pradesh.
which is
My college is
which is a quite poor state in India, huh? Okay,
yes,
if you don't
yes,
mind if you say
yes,
that, it's one of the poorest probably in India.
yeah,
And
yes.
so what has been your life like as a teenager? Basically growing in what you've been growing with family, etc. What has been your life like? Tell me, when you were at high school, when you were a student.
Okay. So, coming to my lifestyle in India, it's like, frankly speaking, I haven't compared any time with people abroad, studying abroad, because it's their choice. But I always love to be learn different cultures and different things. Studying in India is always a good part. And coming to this, there are a lot of people who are very friendly and very close to our heart. Teachers, always open to uh, share their insights and all. I like to study. I always see. Actually, 760 score is very good score. Where if I have a 1 year of extra experience, I might get into very good colleges like Harvard, like Stanford, anything. If I have some 2 years of extra experience, but I always prefer India because I like that it's my country and I liked it. It's not like I stay in Andhra Pradesh, which has poor, like it has debit crisis and all such things. But yeah, I like India to study in India. In fact, there are many people in ISB in my class, particularly who are there from South Korea. I got chance to speak with them, had a lot of interactions with them. It's like a very good place to
And
collaborate,
I'm sure.
especially
You
ISB.
know, I love India, and my plan is to move to India and to become a French Indian. So I'm convinced in the potential of India. And you understand, Mahati, when you work in education, it's a good country to work, but also Indians are friendly people, and you know, I have a lot of respect and love for Indians. So tell me, so now you have decided to study at ISB, okay? Alors, you already started to tell me the reasons. You wanted to be in India. It's an excellent school. So what are tell me the three reasons why you have picked up ISB, sorry.
Okay. First reason is like it has the best cohort, best network, where you get all the topmost people interacting with this network, and you get to improve your network very well. See, I just opted to stay in India, so this is the best one which I got to know. There are some other colleges, but this one has a different level where I get a chance to interact with the person who is having 15 years, 16 years of experience, who is well versed in his domain or industry. Even I came across a person who is my manager and he is studying with me in ISB. So he is about 17 years ahead of me, like according to the age and also the work experience. So that gave me a lot of positive vibrations that see person who is having a lot of experience and you get to know a lot of things from that particular industry from him, both downside and the negative side, which helps you to choose that path or not. So that is the best part. I opted first thing that is why I opted ISB. And second thing is like it has the best campuses, best resources and everything. And the third one is the shortest program, PGP, like it's around for 12 months of program, and you will be done with your placement. It has the best placement, which you have nearly 35 to 40 lakhs, 30 to 35 lakhs of package, and you get into good MNCs like product. If you are opting for product management post to ISB, it would be like Microsoft, Uber, Ola, something like that. And if you're opting for consulting, you get into MBBs very easily.
Okay. So basically, it's so when you say 30 lakhs, how much does it make in dollars, for instance? 30 lakhs. So it would be what? 3 million rupees. 30 lakh
Yeah,
is 3 million rupees.
yeah,
3
Indian
million
rupees. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
quite a lot.
per
Yeah,
year.
yeah, it's 3 million rupees. It's not bad, huh?
Yeah.
So basically, so that's something that I want to explain to the Indian community listening to us, is that basically you have to understand that if you study abroad, okay, so I don't have enough experience because we started to send our first students to India in 2021. Okay, so now they are graduating. Now they will graduate this summer. Okay, and what I want to say is that if you're Indian, you're a non-European citizen, and same thing will apply in the US, you have to understand that you have a first barrier, which is the papers. Okay, so it means that even if you graduate from INSEAD, whatever, as an Indian, if you study in France, because INSEAD is a French school, for instance, you can stay in France for 1 year, and it's usually not enough to get a job. Okay, basically, if you work for McKinsey or Bain or BCG, they will send you back to India anyway. Okay, because they will not hire you for there. So that's an issue that you have to understand, that there will be an issue with the language, there will be an issue with the papers, okay, and you'll be in debt, okay. So it's true that if you study at ISB, you don't have the time of the papers, etc. And of course, if you go and if you work for ISB, and then you work for, I don't know, investment banking or Tata or consulting, then after 5 years they can send you abroad, but without debt, and then you get a foreign salary. Okay, so it can be a solution. First, it's probably a very good bet post MBA, and after that you can perfectly, with an ISB degree, thanks to the support of your employer, work and study elsewhere. Okay, of course, it's not the best way to build your network abroad, but if you work for a multinational company, you will build your network from this company. Huh? Okay. Oh. Alors, basically, you told me that you started to interact with ISB students, because when you start ISB, you start what, in August? When is the starting date, Mahati?
Actually, I'm done with my first part of the term. I'm
Okay.
having a break and term break now. From Monday onwards, I'll be having my term 2 classes. So
Okay.
it's quite a competitive place. It's quite a hectic place. Like you probably have no time to sleep or no time to study yourself. Uh, it's it all happens like you start loving the curriculum, you start loving the uh, culture you have around you. See, people are so friendly, faculty is quite friendly. They give like they explain you, literally they spoon feed you, in the sense, if you have any doubts, they explain you real life examples and all. I just written my accounts exam. So I come from an engineering background. So coming from an engineering background, you don't come across accounts or economics in any point of your time. So they help us a lot in understanding them, explaining it in a very basic levels and all. So for ultimately, the first priority should be given to the faculty. Until and unless if you don't understand the classes, it's waste of your money and their time and our time. So ISB has the best faculties. Even that helped me a lot to have this positive impact on my 1 month of this
Okay.
journey.
So it's a good thing. So I didn't know that you had already started. And tell me, in terms of internationalism, so you told me it's quite international. So your class, it's a class of 400, huh? The class, you're 400 at ISB, yeah? How many students have you got? Like 400? And you have what, 5 cohorts of 80 probably? How does it work? You have 5, it's like Harvard where you have 5 cohorts of 80 students, or you are all in class? How does it work, the 400 students?
Sorry, Hubert, I just
Yeah,
missed
because I've seen that
your.
at ISB, you have 400 students in your batch. How many are there?
Hmm.
400, yes? And you have like 5 cohorts of 80. How does it work? You have 5 classes of 80, or like Harvard? How does it work?
So actually, since last 4 years, they have another branch in Mohali. So it's not like a branch; it's like 2 schools, 1 curriculum. Same thing. The same faculties will be teaching both the schools. So it's not, this year it is around 850 students for both the curriculum. So it's approximately 75 to 85 students into 10 sections.
Okay.
So in Hyderabad, the for older campus, there are 8 sections, and in the Mohali campus, there are two sections approximately. I guess ABCD. Yeah, there were around 3 sections. So it's like 11 sections in total.
Okay. And tell me,
Only for
so
PGP.
how many are Indians? How many are Europeans? How many are
Yeah, yeah.
Asians?
Hmm.
What is the
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
breakdown?
Yeah, okay. For that, in my senior batch, like the people who are graduating now, they have around 15 to 20 people of abroad guys, like not Indians, non-Indian students. Like I'm not sure from which country they are from. And in our place, there were around 3 people from same place, like they're from South Korea. So I didn't come across with anybody who are Americans or Europeans. Not sure why. Maybe in other campus like in Mohali there might be. Uh, but there are many students who are NRAs, not non-resident Indians who already studied in US or Europe, their undergrad, and they came here
To
to
complete, yeah,
study.
because
Yes,
they want to
ISB.
work in India and they believe that the
Yes.
best thing to make a career in India is to have an Indian
Hmm.
degree, and they are right. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I get the point. So tell me, Mani, what has been the process? What has been the process, the application process like? Tell me.
Okay. Yeah, for that, actually, I just want to explain you from the basics because later part of my discussion, I'll just explain how I went. So, firstly, there were 3 rounds in ISB, like for round one, round two, and round three. And round one starts in September, and by then you need to have your Gmat score or GRE score, anything. They'll be accepting any score. Uh, Apart from that, you'll have the application, which have 3 questions, sorry, 2 questions of essays, like 2 essays. It's the basic ones, like all typical MBA student, MBA colleges ask, like what are your short-term and long-term goals, and what are your personal incidents which made you this person, like that. Uh, so these are the 2 questions which are given for our batch. And apart from that, you need to have one recommender, which the recommender uh, process is very huge. Like he should be answering nearly 15 questions, like objective type questions, 15 objective type questions, like just rating us. And apart from that, he will be given 5 different questions, like at what time, what a point of time he worked with us, and or what are the positive things which he saw in us, or something like that. There are 5 different questions like that in total. So the recommender have more questions compared to us, which like 15 quiz, as I told you, and 5 questions which are optional actually. 5 questions wherein each question should be having 500 words, and the one which we write should have 400 words. It should be you should have a very perfect storyline to put your stories in a right way. All right. So if you'll be given 1 month of time and you'll be submitting that application, within 15 to 20 days, you'll get a reply saying that your application is being verified, just verified. Then up post to that a week or so, you will be getting a mail saying that either you were selected, shortlisted for the interview or not. So the interview is pretty easy. Like it's a very conversational interview, though it has some it creates some butterflies because it's the only college it created butterflies for me because it's the only college which I have applied. And interview is taken by alums, not the faculty administrator, not the administrative guys in the college. So alums, like 4 alums, will be continuously shooting questions on you based on your essays very particularly. So you should be very thorough with your essays and your storyline so that they will be digging deep into your essays. Oh, that is what I have seen with the interviews. Post to that, I just got the reply post in within 1 week. But if you since I applied in round three, classes are commencing within 5 to 6 days, so I got reply soon. But if it is in round one or round two, it will be taking some time.
Okay. And what was the most difficult part of the application, Mahati, for you? What was the most difficult part?
Yeah,
Between the
mine.
Gmat, the interview, I have the feeling that the interview was not too difficult, but the rest, tell me.
Hmm. Yeah, most difficult part which I have felt is like the application writing essays, because I'm not at that point of time. I'm not ready with my storyline. So actually, I thought of applying next year, but unfortunately, I just gave a try to apply. If I I just gave a try, so that to understand what is application process and everything. So I thought, this is the time which I have to give my best, maybe because um, according to the experience, I've seen that some of my friends are also taking it serious, so they immediately started taking it serious, and I have applied. Like the essay part was difficult for me because 400 words writing your bigger storyline is making it compact, or it's concentrated, is being difficult. You cannot remove any points, so that, and Hubert and Monila Zenia helped me a lot in doing that. Apart from that, the recommender part, you need to be particular about the recommender, because you need to have such a good contact with somebody who is very willing to write your recommendation in such a way that the person who is reading your application should be impressed. All right. So apart from that, GMAT is also one kind of a hectic thing for me, because I was preparing in a very low time, a very depressed state of mind, because I had some personal issues. So because of that, I prepared for GMAT around 1 year. So at the end of the time, I gave exam because I had a lot of problems. So at that point of time, I don't think for ISB GMAT is the only criteria that they will be looking at. You must be probably having 680 or 700 plus, not more than that. In our batch, the average is 720 average. 720 or 700. I just remember
I
something
think
like
it's
700.
720 for SB. Yes, you must be in the 720 easily. Yeah.
Yeah, 720. But this for the senior batch, it is just 680. So it's not like you just do your GMAT very well or something. You should have a mm, consistent marks, or some consistent in everything from your childhood, like your grade, like we call it 10 inter or something like that in your undergrads and all. So you should be consistent, and your storyline should be very particular, so that they will be convinced that you are literally requiring that particular seat, since there is a lot of competition.
Okay, so it's a very good thing to know. According to you, Mahati, why did ISB take you? It was very fast, remember? We took care of the application, you got an answer very fast. The process was very fast. I was even surprised that you have already started, because for me, yeah, we're already working on that like 3 months ago. So why did they take you, according to you?
Yeah, I feel that, see, I just don't want to make it generic in my side, from my end. So I just had a conversation. I just had a very deep conversation with multiple people in my batch. Like, what is the reason behind they selecting us? See, everybody have a different thing,
Yeah.
the best part. They will find something good. Even you can't recognize what they have selected. There are chartered accountants, there are lawyers, there are many people like entrepreneurs, many guys in our cohort. So they will be looking at what is the need for you to get into an MBA. In the sense, like, what is your vision? You should be very pinpoint about your storyline. See, there's a question in my interview like, why do you want to get into McKinsey? Frankly speaking, me coming from a product background, you want to go to into consulting. Why do you want to go? They were repeatedly asking the same question, and initially I was not able to give a proper straightforward answer. They were looking for such answer. I just simply told that for that switch of my career only, I was looking to get into ISP simply because at that time they were like, okay, fine, you want to switch your career. So they were looking for the correct answer from you, and how much will you be valued if you are if you are given an admission, so that a cohort will be learning from you. In my case, they have pointed so much about the business. I was doing some business, like my father's business. I was taking care of it for last 2 years. So they were asking me multiple questions regarding the tax, regarding the service related, accounts related stuff. So how do you manage all that? How did you manage the increase in turnover, revenues, and all? So literally, they were impressed with the things which I have. So everybody have such sort of things in my class. Like I just had a discussion about an hour ago with a chartered accountant. I just asked him, how did you get into? Because being a chartered accountant itself is a very good thing. And being a chartered accountant, why did he come into MBA? So he just told me that I just want to get into a corporate, so I help a corporate, and I just want to switch my career with my accounting knowledge into consulting background or investment banking. So I got to know, okay, it's not like it's not like that they simply select you, but they look into something like how will you be helpful to the other people in the industry, other people in the college.
Okay, so basically what you want to say, Mahati, you want to say that basically at ISB, they're looking for people who fit in, so people who speak English well, who have somehow international, who have strong intellectual skills, a great career, but also people who have a difference, something that's something stand out, a sort of difference. So they will take an accountant who, I don't know, basic hobby, you because you have the family business. So they want to have people who can also be excellent. So they want excellent students, but also people who can bring through their difference. That's what you mean.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, from
So,
diverse backgrounds.
okay. So then I have some students, some potential students being here. For instance, Kushi. Yes, she has a typical Indian name, Argaval. Kushi. You have a question that you want to ask us, Kushi? You're also interested in ISB? Kushi? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, Kushi. Where are you from, Kushi? Where are you from? Which part of India are you from? I know that you're Indian, but which part of India are you from?
I'm from Kolkata.
We come from Kolkata. Okay, so the eastern part. So basically, what questions have you got for Mahati, Kushi?
I just wanted to like, get an insight as to, um, if it's a good, like, basically, like, how to get into it. Probably that's one of the questions.
Okay, so do you want to
Mhm.
answer, Mahati? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hi Kushi. So
Yeah.
as I mentioned already, it's a quite, it's not so hectic, or it's not so easy process. Like if you are planning from now, like it's May, right? From September, the applications will be starting. The round one will be starting. So by then, if you are ready with your GMAT or GRE scores, you can start with applying in the round one, and you will get some ample time to prepare your application. If you're not ready with your application or something, you can also apply in round two, because you'll get, if you start from September, it's a very good time. You can very nicely prepare your application and your essays. You must be very ready with your storyline now, because see, at that point of time, in my case, it was a hurry. So I just wrote 5 days before my application deadline, like approximately 15 days before my application deadline, I wrote GMAT, and in 15 days I started working on my application. So it was quite hectic. If you're planning from now, it's better if you being ready with your GMAT score by September, and from September onwards, it's better for you to focus on your application. And the best part of for ISB is, like, you need not work on your resume at that particular point while applying the application. Your resume should be done when you are admitted and your admission got confirmed with all the payments of fees and everything. So at that point, your resume can be prepared. So I think it's quite easy when you're having all the things on your plate, with good Gmat score, good storyline, and everything, so that you can modify your storyline according to the questions which are given. That is all. Do you have any questions, Kushi?
Yes, anymore.
No, I
So
think that's okay.
yeah, so basically, Kushi, yes, it's a long process. It's true that Mahati, she came a bit last notice.
Mm,
I don't know why you came late because probably you have your job, you have the family business.
yes.
We're probably undecided still. I don't know anything. And then
Yeah.
there's also there's someone that I wanted to interview, but she left. Um, so basically, that's there was another person from India, but she left. Alors, basically, Mahati, so if you could give a piece of advice to students who want to go for an MBA, whether it is in Europe, US, or India, what piece of advice would you give them? What is the optimal preparation? Yeah.
My simple piece of advice is something like interact with n number of people. How many people you can interact with in a particular month or something. Like interact with very new people and discuss everything what they do. Not everything, like just know what they are doing. Make some friends. Maintain some good network in LinkedIn. Even that will help you a lot. So because of that, you will understand what kind of things people are doing differently. Like see, I just didn't interact with much people initially. I just feel bad because of that. Uh, Due to my business and all other stuff, I was in my own shell. So interaction with multiple people gives you a lot of confidence and allows gives you uh, positive vibes, so that you feel that okay, I have something, that kind of skill, so that I can also go into that particular field. Maintaining a network is the first priority, which I feel. That is the particular piece of advice which I give if you guys are getting into an MBA.
Okay, so
And
it's
preparing for the case competitions, these are also very good things. And only after you get into MBA, it's better to get doing case forms. As of now, it's better to maintain a good network.
okay. So basically, so what Matty came up is always the same idea. You see, the idea that people when they go for an MBA, it's true that an MBA is a general management degree, but they're looking for something specific. Really, it's always into consulting. They want to learn about strategy or they want to learn about finance. Strategy enough, the MBA is very broad, but they want something very specific. And then, of course, extra business knowledge, it's always good. Sometimes there is the international exposure. Okay, bon, you still have it somehow. But most important is personal development. Okay, so people are more looking for personal development than international exposure. Okay, because of course, what I want to tell you, imagine that you're French or you're Indian, you say, I know people all over the world. Yes, you know people all over the world, but you have been with them for 2 years, they have their family, they have their problems to manage. Don't imagine that you have powerful people all over the world. Maybe in 20 years they would be powerful, but today they are like you, they are looking for a job and they have a lot of debts. Okay, but most important is personal development. Okay, and finally, of course, the network. Okay, so basically that's why you have to say to yourself, but finally, why this interest from India for all these schools abroad when basically I will get the knowledge, I will get the network, and I will get the personal development I'm looking for at ISB as well. Okay, why pay so much? Okay, so I understand that most of you have not been abroad. Okay, because India is a big country, so it's difficult to travel outside India, and some people they are ready to go to abroad at somehow at no cost. Okay, but that's something that you really have to consider. Huh? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mahati. It was very nice. Huh? Of course, keep us updated and let us know on what you're doing. We want to know. Huh? We'll be eager to always know. You're a very friendly person, very intelligent. Okay. And what I wanted to say to show with you is that we have super bright people with 760, great experience, and at ISB. Huh? For information, the last student that I got accepted at NCR, he got in with a 600. So I'm sure that Mahati is much more intelligent than these people, okay? And she will probably do much better than these guys in life, huh? Okay? Thank you very much, Mahati. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Hubert. And finally, I just want to mention one particular thing. Hubert helped me a lot, lot in a very short notice, and it's like around 15. We are just having 10 days for my application deadline, and it was a very short notice. Along with Hubert Dasti, I used to ping her now and then every time. Like I used to call her even at 12 o'clock late night, and she helped me a lot in and taking up my case because I remember Drasti. I'm the first student of Drasti, and she has taken up very positively and helped me a lot. And even Senya, at the very end of the moment, like my deadline is approaching around 1 hour, and there were some modifications to be done, and Senya helped me a lot along with Monila. So this is because of you guys, like positive vibes from you. I just got a lot of confidence that I can be doing it. So Hubert
Thank you
helped me
very
a
much,
lot.
Mahati. Yeah. But if you made it, it's mainly because of you, huh? We have just helped you get the, jump the last hurdle, but you got in because you're outstanding, huh? Okay, and we just happened it. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.